With Nikki Haley saying she is voting for Trump, the Republican Party is now firmly united behind him. Joining me now, Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House and Fox News political analyst. Newt, Nikki comes home.
I think this is a very important moment because she was the last hope of the never-Trumpers, and I think what she has said is pretty clear. If your choice is Biden or Trump, no one who cares about the future of the country can be for Biden. And I think she will be an asset at the convention. She'll be an asset on the campaign trail. And I think she's going to give a lot of people a sense that they're going to be with her in supporting President Trump. So I think in terms of unifying the Republican Party, this was a very, very important day.
Newt, should President Trump, former President Trump, invite her to Bedminster for a meeting or a chat just to kind of put all the ill will behind them and, be magnanimous?
Well, he can. He can also invite her to give a speech at the convention. I mean, he has many ways to reach out to her. And I do think that unifying the country as it becomes clearer and clearer that President Trump is going to win, that he will be president, I think at some point turning to the idea of how do we bring people together so we can actually govern for the next 4 years is important. And I think that Nikki Haley can be a part of that.
Now, Newt, more evidence tonight that voters don't believe Trump is a threat to democracy. Of course, that was the big hope of the Democrat Party. This from the Washington Post tonight. Biden's team is aware that it's struggling to engage young and black voters, but polling suggests that a central element of his campaign pitch, that democracy is under threat and this election is a referendum on our political system, simply is not engaging those voters as he might have hoped. Newt, what on earth can he argue now? That's not working. I guess the student loan giveaway or the pot or the, what?
Well, I mean, here's the problem Biden faced. Bidenflation is eating up the young. You go to work, and then you go to the grocery store, you buy gasoline, you can't afford to buy a house. You may be living literally from paycheck to paycheck or from credit card to credit card. And Biden wants you to be worried about something that you think is baloney. The objective reality is that Donald Trump, who appears before thousands and thousands of people, who clearly has a nationwide base that loves him and wants him to be president. If you looked at how pathetic Biden was in New Hampshire, for example, where they couldn't even fill up a small room. And when they did, the people who were there, somebody said they might as well have said bingo because it looked like a group that had gotten together for the local church bingo program. I think the average person, including many, many African-American males who are now drifting towards Trump, many Latinos where I think Trump will get an absolute majority. And I think, again, when you go out and you talk with suburban women who the media was sort of counting on for Biden, they're looking at the border. They're looking at things like what you just showed, some woman who wants to put a serial rapist into a women's prison. And they're thinking, do I feel safe enough to take a risk on Biden and Harris? And remember, a vote for Biden very likely is a vote for Harris to become president. And I think faced with that, a very high percent of the country in the end is going to say, well, I just can't do it.
No wonder James Carville's so upset these days. Newt, great to see you. Thanks so much.